Welcome everybody to our BNI Talks webinar. Today, my special guest is my good friend Gina Herald, and today we'll be talking about setting challenging but attainable goals for your chapter and for your business. So Gina, before we get into this, why don't you talk a little bit about yourself and your time in BNI?
All right, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. I left my traditional business career at a wonderful company called Nordstrom, which some of you may have heard of. And I started a customer service training and leadership development company in 2006. And my mentor said, go join BNI. Having recently relocated from Maryland to Charlotte, I Googled it, found a chapter, was blown away. And I said, well, if Nordstrom built a $10 billion company on word of mouth, why can't I do that in my business? And so I've been part of BNI in one way or another since 2006. Have had the privilege of being on the director team and the training team, and now the core team, serving currently as the managing director of the Virginia core. Right. So great to be here. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know me, my name is Steve Tenuzzo, and I am the marketing and communications coordinator for our BNI core regions. Those are the company-owned regions, of which most of the people on here are, but not everyone. We've got some franchise members as well, so welcome to all of you. And this year is my 20th year in BNI. I think March is my anniversary. So I am really looking forward to that big milestone. And so this is all about attaining goals, right? And so a lot of you have gone through goal setting and done this for many years. Thank you for those saying congrats. And what's important here is I think a lot of you know about goal setting and you've seen presentations like this before, but this is, Gina, kind of like something that needs practice. And starting right at the beginning of the year is always the best time to do it.
Yes, so as Steve and I were talking about this and talking about goal setting, we decided that what a great time at the beginning of the year. A lot of us are perhaps looking back at last year and saying, what went well for us? What didn't go so well? Where might we need to course correct coming into the new year as we're thinking about setting our goals in our business, which I hope that many of you have done already, as well as in BNI, so that you can leverage the system to help you achieve your business goals, because that's really the magic, right, of how this works.
So Gina, you said the magic words, which was, we think you may have set some goals already. So why don't we launch a poll before we jump into this? And the question is, have you set goals for 2022? And for those of you driving around, your options are yes, but only for my business, or yes, but only for our BNI chapter. Yes, for both. Not yet, or of course not. I was waiting for this webinar. So now you'll have lots of info to take back with you after this one. But let's see. People are still chiming in here. All right, let's see. Let's keep this open for about 10 more seconds. Get our final votes in, and we will share the results. Okay. All right. Here are the results. Gina, what do you think?
All right. Look at that. 31% said yes for both.
Yeah, pretty good.
That's awesome, which I think proves that BNI members as a rule are exceptional, because we're going to show you some statistics in a minute and that are really interesting, and you guys are blowing that statistic out of the water. Some of you have a little bit of opportunity here to maybe set some goals for your business, with 4% of you saying only for your BNI chapter. We want to inspire you to set goals for your business too. And then those who said yes, but only for my business, we would love for you to set some goals in BNI that are going to drive the business goals that you have. The two hopefully work very well together. And when we leverage the system, that helps us reach our business goals.
All right. So let's start with this, the mission. Gina, I love you always start with the why and the mission. So tell us about that.
I do, and here's why, because in my years as a business consultant and doing training and coaching and things like that, I have found that Organizationally, when we filter everything through the lens of our mission, which is to help you all, our members, increase your business, that informs all of our actions. And so the goals that we set as an organization are driven by the desire we have to fulfill the brand promise we have made to you to help you grow your business. So when we challenge you about setting goals, it's because we want to partner with you to achieve the goals you've set for yourself in your business. And if we want to be able to help you, we have to know what you're trying to accomplish, which is why the gains profile, what's the G stand for?
Goals.
Yes, give me a G.
Yep.
And that's it, right? Is that when I know your goals as a referral partner or as a chapter success coach or as a managing director, I can clearer understand how I can contribute to your goal achievement. Because to me, and I don't know about you, Steve, but there's nothing more rewarding than helping someone else succeed. How much fun is that?
Absolutely.
So the other G's, givers gain, right?
Yep. Yep.
So there you go.
All right. So
I found these statistics fascinating. The percentage of the population that has goals of 14%, although they are not written down, are 10 times more successful than those who do not have goals. Now, only 17% of the population in total claims to have goals. Of that 17%, 14% say, I've got my goals, but they're in my head, I haven't written them down. Even though they haven't written them down, they're 10 times more successful than people who don't have a goal. Of that 17%, 3% wrote them down. And those 3% are 3 times more successful than the 14% who don't write it down. So it is pretty compelling evidence for why you want to set goals and then why you want to write them down. Couple more quick stats here. We don't like to put a lot of words on the slide. So I promise you, this is the wordiest slide we have. Almost 400 tests have shown that goal setting has statistically significant effect on our behavior. How many of you believe that that's true? I set my goal and then I'm going to behave differently to achieve it. And then the final statistical information, I think there's one more bullet there, huh, Steve? Yes. Weekly progress reporting on goals increases your success by 40%. This is why in BNI, we love our goal boards and we love recognition and we love progress reports. If our chapter has a goal of being at a certain number of members, we're reporting weekly. How many visitors did we have? How many new members do we have? How many renewals? And that is because that increases our success rate. I don't know about you guys. Anybody ever set a weight loss goal? Probably not you guys, but other people I know have weight loss goals. And they have found that using an app to track it, tracking their progress helps them stay committed to the goal. So love that. Weekly progress reporting. We'll tie all this together.
We got an extra.
90% of people perform better with relevant and challenging goals. So as the title suggests, set challenging goals that are attainable, right? What happens if it's unrealistic, Steve?
It doesn't happen.
Yeah, we give up maybe when it gets hard, right?
Yeah.
When it's an obstacle, we surrender and go, oh, I knew I was never going to be able to do this anyway, right? So challenge yourself. Keep it real, though. Got to keep it real. I remember when I worked at Nordstrom, we were doing some strategic planning and we talked about some things that we'd really love to accomplish. When we looked at our historical precedent, though, some of those goals, if you were, ideas were probably statistically not doable. So we took incremental steps, though. So then we said, okay, we can make it a 3-year goal. In year 1, what do we want to do, right? So.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, Gina, you very quickly mentioned something that is kind of like a hidden element to success in BNI earlier on. You talked about goal boards and people who set them up in their chapters. If you're an in-person group, if you're online, if you've got a slide before the meeting starts to show what the goal is, how far along you are in reaching your goals. All of that is important to visitors when they come through the door and they see, all right, this is a chapter that means business, right? They're already have a number in mind, and they're working on hitting that. So if you don't have something in your chapter, whether it's a slide for an online group or one of those boards that you can show, or if you've got a screen that you can use for your in-person meeting, no matter how you do it, that should be front and center for visitors the minute they walk through the door.
Yes, no, so true, because that is a compelling thing. I mean, that was one of the things for me where I joined immediately during the visitor orientation after my first meeting. I had been impressed by the stats. I saw the chapter reporting during the VP report. And it was just, I could tell that they were very committed to business. Since I joined BNI, and you too, Steve, we've been around for a little while. The Power of One has come out, which is our member personal scoreboard. I say, you know what? It's not about comparing yourself to anyone else. It's about comparing yourself to your goals. What do I want to achieve from my membership in BNI to drive my business goals? What activities do I need to do? And then I'm in the game with my Power of One scoreboard. I know some of you guys out there really well, and you are competitors at heart. And if you're not green, you're like, oh no. And some of you, if you're not 100. So I love
We have some people who say, yeah, my goal is to strive to have a perfect score in that on that traffic light Power of One report, because it shows that I'm doing everything I can to help the chapter. That is some excellent commitment. I will tell you, I was more of like an 80 steady going through. I was green. That was my main thing. But yeah, some people are super achievers in BNI for sure.
Love that. Yes. Green is good. All right. We love the green. So let's talk about how. I mean, we talked about why. Why do we want to do this? How do you do it, right? Because I think that's the thing, is that we talk sometimes about the big vision and all of that. How do we do this goal setting thing? Stephen Covey, amazing wisdom, right? Begin with the end in mind. What does that mean? You look at where you want to be 12 months from now, or for those of you who plan term to term as chapter leaders, October 1 to September 30th in your business, you may go with the calendar year or have another different fiscal year. Either way, you're going to look at that and say, where do I want to be at this incremental point, right? And then you reverse engineer the plan. You build your strategy step by step. Steve and I were talking about this during the time before the webinar started, that it's all about those small incremental activities that you take that lead to the goal. So you got to reverse engineer it. But if I don't know where I'm going, I can't map my waypoints, for those of you who are boaters.
Yeah, I think if you were a $1 million chapter last year, and this year your goal is to be a $3 million chapter, some people would say, oh, I don't know how we can get to that. It's never going to happen. But you know what? If you say, all right, what can we do that's going to give us 3 times the amount of referrals and revenue that we did last year? What did we get wrong? And how can we break it down month to month, rather than just saying, by the time October rolls around, we're going to have $3 million in the bank?
Yeah, and Steve, to your point too, what are we doing well? Let's build on that. And then where are we falling short of our goals? And how can we fill in those gaps, or, address those places where we fell short? So we're going to begin with the end in mind. That's the first step to how. The next step is to recognize that there are 2 types of goals. So for all of us, we have outcome goals first, right? So in BNI, it's thank you for closed business. When I was a business owner, I had a couple of outcome goals. I wanted X number of dollars in top line revenue. I also wanted to acquire a certain number of new clients each year, and certain types of clients even, because there were different revenue streams in my business based on what I was doing. I set my outcome goal then. That's our begin with the end in mind, right? That's where I want to get to be, whether it's dollars in the bank or pounds on the scale or less pounds on the scale or whatever that is. Then we create the performance goals. So to me, the Power of One is the perfect analogy of this. If I want to be 100, I know exactly what I have to do. I have to attend every weekly meeting. or send a sub. I have to do one one-to-one a week, give one referral a week, bring one other business professional a month to visit my chapter and meet my network, and one CEU a week. That's my performance. I know that's going to lead to 100 every time. Just out of curiosity, how many salespeople are on the call today?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, all of it. Okay, so you guys, we're in sales. We know what the sales process is, right? If I want to have X number of new clients, I make X number of calls, do X number of presentations, and I can break those numbers down into smaller pieces. I had a client one time who had a top line revenue goal for their business for the year. And they said, okay, if this is what we want to do, and we know that our average transaction value is X, then we need a certain number of clients. We need 100 new clients, let's say. Then we broke that down by month and said, okay, that's X number of clients a month. Then by week, how many calls do I need to make, and all of that. So when you make the pieces manageable and doable daily and weekly, it's that consistent activity, right, that leads to the outcome.
Yeah. And I think, looking at these two types of goals is so important because they're both very different. And each one, though, is one that's going to get you to where you need to be. So I think we have to look at it in both ways.
Love that. Yes, thank you. So here to just wrap up this piece of the discussion, a clear vision backed by a definite plan is going to give you a tremendous feeling of confidence and personal power, because now I know what I need to do. And I'm going to take those actions on a daily basis that are going to lead me to that outcome. So it's not just, to Steve's point, you've got to have both types of goals in order to effectively accomplish what you want to do. I set my outcome goal, and then, as we said earlier, we're going to reverse engineer the activities on a consistent basis, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly. I was telling Steve earlier, when I worked at Nordstrom, we had, annual goals in our stores, and our cash registers actually gave us hourly sales flashes. I mean, you could see, and on days like this, X number of days after Christmas, when you're in the negative most of the day, it's kind of like, let's not look every hour, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So pick increments that work for you, that inspire you. And by the way, speaking of being inspired, you have to pick goals that inspire you in your business. What's going to inspire you? What are you wanting to accomplish? It's going to be different for you than it is for someone else who may be in the exact same business, but the vision they have for their future may look different than the vision you have for yours. So there's multiple paths to getting to your goal as well.
I will tell you, I have visited some chapters and have seen some vice presidents' reports that are so encouraging and inspirational, in that not just talking about, well, our goal is X amount of dollars or X amount of members or whatever the goal is, but it's people saying, not only, are we achieving our goals, but here's where we are. We are a quarter of the way through and we're 35% towards our goal. We're ahead of schedule. And they're celebrating those milestones along the way. And I think that makes things easier to get to that point when you realize whether either if you're ahead or maybe a little bit behind where you're supposed to be, there's that point of recognizing that some good effort was put in there, and it's time to celebrate that effort and keep pushing forward. I think the one thing that people do sometimes is they'll say, you know what, maybe we overshot this $3 million goal from that $1 million chapter. Maybe we should just lower it to $2 million. No, that's not how you do it, right? We want to instead figure out how, based on where we are working towards the goals, to get to that point. How do we kick it up a little bit more?
I love that, Steve. And many times we talk about that. Don't change the goal, adjust your strategy.
Yeah.
Adjust your strategy. Maybe I miscalculated in the beginning and I need to make a couple more sales calls to get a close, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe we miscalculated with the chapter and we thought that this number of people could deliver these results, but it turns out we need a bigger referral team. to help our members be more successful. And I think when we think about that, I don't know about you guys, you've probably heard this, but recognition is something that people crave. I mean, it is baked into the DNA of every successful organization. And that has to do with the fact that we want to be acknowledged and we want to celebrate those wins. So as we celebrate weekly, Steve, to your point, there's always something we can celebrate that's happening in the chapter. I remember one of our chapters here in Charlotte set a $1.2 million closed business goal. And it became their mantra, 1.2, it's up to you, which meant everybody had a stake in it. When they hit 1.2, guess what? They upped the game and said, okay, we're on the drive to 1.5. And they just kept slowly increasing it, but it became a mantra that they embraced as a chapter. And it was amazing. Just they kept incrementally pushing it up a little bit and challenging themselves. And it was amazing what they accomplished because they kept themselves very focused on the goal.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's an amazing thing. When you put it out there at every meeting, then people start to say, all right, this is going to happen, right? We're going to make it happen. We're going to work on this. It's just like, it's the same as when you're writing down your business goals for yourself. When you're putting it out there to the chapter every week and the visitors are hearing it, they're going to say, oh, I want to be part of this. So they're going to fill out an application and become part of it. You know, these are the things that we do that are small little changes that can make a huge, huge difference.
I love it. All right. So got to have the vision, but the question becomes then, what's your plan? So plan and execute. What am I creating? What are we creating? What does it look like? And then what are those, on the next click, you'll see the kind of what we've been talking about. What are the monthly, daily, weekly actions that I'm going to take? What am I committed to? And don't commit yourself to more than you're willing to do. I saw a t-shirt once that said, procrastinators unite tomorrow. Okay.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, it's parentheses, tomorrow. And so it's one of those things, I don't know about you guys, I have moments sometimes where if I start to get overwhelmed, I might tend to procrastinate. And I find that I'm more focused when I just get one small thing done, cross it off, move to the next thing. And so we would encourage you to keep that in mind, that what am I committed to doing on this day, each day or each month, whatever that is, and break it down into how it works for you. And here's the other thing, you guys, I find that time management, again, probably not you guys, but other entrepreneurs I know, sometimes are, to use my favorite Waffle House analogy, scattered, smothered, and covered. So you're a little busy. But look, here's the thing, time management is a universal challenge. I personally don't believe there's a one-size-fits-all approach to time management. We have different productivity styles. Some of us may be morning people. Some of us may be afternoon people. Embrace your style. And if time blocking works for you, or clustering your activities into a week works, or a day, and then you move on, choose something that you personally can and will commit to that's going to work for you. And that is a key to your success. All right.
Absolutely.
And then speaking of success, how will you measure that? So again, I come from the retail world where your numbers are always in front of you. I mean, they were posted everywhere in the back room, in the front room. And we talked about them. We had announcements every single morning as the store was opening, and we gave shout outs to our top salespeople in the store and our top departments in the store. It's a very similar thing to what we do in BNI, right? With our recognition, our notable networkers, our VP report every week. When we have the scoreboard in front of us and we see it, so think about how you will measure it, and even more, how will you keep it in front of you so that it inspires you? Any sports fans out there? Steve, are you a sports fan?
Very much so.
Yeah, I mean, why do we watch the game?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of emotional investment in our team.
Yes.
It's a kind way of putting it.
Yes, it's so emotional. I don't know about you guys. March Madness is one of my favorite times of the year. I mean, you got these basketball coaches on the sidelines with their veins popping out of their neck, freaking out. What I love though is we are so relentlessly fixated on the scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
And the players know, trust me, they know if they're in the game. But isn't it amazing how they drive each other's games to levels that you just may not see
Mm-hmm.
prior to that? So we can do the same thing. We can drive ourselves and our chapters and our businesses to levels we haven't seen when we really get in the game and we get excited about what we're accomplishing and we think, oh, wow, I'm going to take this to the next level. If I don't have a goal, though, I don't know what the next level is. So it is important to start somewhere.
All right.
The key to your success. Look, there's no secret to success, right? Bob Proctor, accountability is the glue that ties commitment to results. This is one of my favorite quotes, you guys, and many of you who know me have heard me say it more than once. But look, we've got to close the loop to get the results that we want. So accountability is a BNI core value. I submit to you, though, if we embrace the definition of accountability that Steve is about to put on the screen, we will there you go. We will understand that we can control. Now, we can't control the outcome, right? I can't guarantee I'm going to close $2 million in business, but what can I control? My performance, right?
True.
We love this definition of accountability because it's all about the positive aspects of it. We don't want accountability to be viewed as punitive. We invite you to embrace accountability partners, business coaches, mastermind groups. I don't know about you guys. I was in a mastermind group for 10 years while I was building my business. I couldn't have done it without them. You know, Dr. Meisner talks about there's 3 reasons you need a network: information, support, and referrals. And it is amazing how when you get into accountability groups and mastermind groups and your BNI group, you get all 3 of those things. As a newer business, you might need information on local business license laws or how to set up your S Corp or your LLC or whatever. We all need support out there as entrepreneurs because some days it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough, right? And I need my support network. Better Together, our theme for next year, was born out of the fact that without each other, you guys, it would have been a lot tougher to get through the last 21 months as a business person and even just day to day, right? So for us, accountability is that personal choice to rise above our circumstances. Find obstacle removers who can help you break down the obstacle, whether it's your own procrastination, whether it's your own head trash that you need to get rid of so that you can take ownership. When we take ownership of the results that we want to get, as that earlier quote mentioned, we have a great sense of personal power because now I'm taking ownership for the results that I want to get. So beautiful definition of accountability there. And I saw in the chat some suggestions on books on accountability. There are many good ones. Extreme Ownership is a great one. The Oz Principle books are great books. And it's the idea of embracing accountability as a path to success. Because with that accountability, I am then more engaged. How many of you guys have a business coach? A lot of you have business coaches out there probably. Who wants to have that weekly call or whatever and say, oh, whoops, I didn't get done what I said I would do this week. And so that's one of the things that helps us stay committed to the results. Yes, Kelly, love that. So you guys are chiming in. Kay, love it. Yes, accountability partners out there. Well done. Again, proving that BNI is an above average organization when it comes to the members, because we are doing a lot of things like setting goals and things like that, that people who don't have this kind of network around them don't always do. So,
you know, there are a lot of amazing business coaches who are members in BNI. And I know that some of them work with the leadership teams to help figure out how to set goals and do all those things. And so, if you've got a business coach in your chapter, please reach out to them. Do a one-to-one if you haven't, and get to get a little advice on, getting started on goals for your own business.
Well, and Steve, so to your point too, what a great opportunity to invite a business coach to become part of your chapter if you don't have one. If you think about the ways that accountability is baked into, again, the BNI system, look at the Passport program. What a wonderful tool for our new members to chart a course of activity as they come into BNI. It helps them crack the code a little bit on expectations, and it gives them a path to navigate those first 90 days or so.
Mm-hmm.
The mentor coordinators helping them and coaching them are chapter success coaches. What an amazing resource for you. We want to be in a coaching type of relationship with you that is viewed as a collaborative partnership toward the achievement of your business and chapter goals. That's why we do what we do as coaches, so that we can help you succeed in reaching your goals. So I see a lot of great stuff out there. People chiming in about coaches, and
Mary's cat raised her hand by accident.
there you go.
No worries.
Got the cat walking on the keyboard.
That's
Love that. All right, you guys are awesome. Okay, so here's the thing as we wrap up, before we talk about a couple of cool tools that we have in our toolbox that we can share with you. The question is what? What did we talk about? What nuggets did we share today? And some of this may be review for some of you. However, it resonates right now with where you are in your life and your business. What information did I get? What spoke to me? And then, so what? Does it matter? What will I do with it? That's the now what question. Applying what you're learning, taking one action step away and saying, I am committed in the new year to doing this. One small thing at a time in your life and your business. So hopefully everyone has an action item that they will take away from this conversation. We always like to ask that question though, now what? What am I going to do with it now that I have this knowledge? Or have been reminded of knowledge I already had. All right, Casey says, write my goals down. I love it. Yes, post them in a prominent place where you can see them every day.
That's
All
right.
right. Excellent. Okay, so in BNI, we have a wonderful tool for you. Some of you may already be using this tool. We have in some areas worked with the chapter leadership teams to set goals for the chapter. Because here's our thing in BNI. No chapter can reach its full potential as a referral team unless we help every single member maximize their ROI in the BNI system. And so we have this goal planning tool in BNI Connect. We have 8 success drivers that we have identified that help us achieve the mission of helping you increase your business. So what you'll see here are on the screen that Steve is putting up is a tool that is a goal planning document that you can use to work with your leadership team to put some goals in place if you don't already have them. And these are some ideas of some actions that you can choose to take individually and as a chapter team to move you toward those goals. And so this is just one tool that's available. And these types of ideas, if you will, translate into your business as well, because you can look at what are the success drivers in my business, and then what are the actions I can take. So we always want to tie it back in because the two work together to help you achieve your goals. So what are some of these actions that you can take? So lots of great tools there. And Steve will make this tool available to you following the webinar today so that you have access to it.
Yeah.
And you can leverage these tools as you move forward.
So Gina, I wanted to mention this, this planning guide, but just so that people know, and you could see the kind of directions to get there in that first paragraph. that you can enter your chapter goals right through BNI Connect so that it's right there and you can track them from month to month.
Yes. So it is a wonderful tool to help you plan your year. In fact, in the Virginia core regions, we're having some goal planning workshops at the end of January. I love doing goal planning with the chapter. So we are going to do that in January. We had some new regions join us since the leadership team term started, and we're going to help them set their goals. So yes, it is in BNI Connect. And you can, oh, Steve, you're answering that question. Yes, so if you go to operations and then chapter, you can just follow this path here to enter your goals. This goal guide is actually in there. So you can pull it down, but Steve is also going to make it available to you so that you have it handy.
I will do that. So, okay, let's just move this ahead. All right, so we're at Q&A. So while we're doing that, if anyone has any questions, they can put them right in the Q&A box. And in the meantime, I'm just going to copy these and put them right into the chat so you can download them. So here's the link for the chapter goal guide right there. Oh, crap, that's too long, isn't it? You may have to copy and paste that. I don't know if it's going to open up all the way because it's a long title, but we'll see what happens. But you should at the very least be able to. Oh, it did open. Great. Good news. Good news. And here is that Word document as well, which is very similar. But we'll give you just a really good idea on what you can do in order to really kind of up your goal game. Because I think there's certain things, Gina, that we don't think about that we need to do. Like when we say, well, how is our chapter going to be successful? We talk about things like referrals and revenue, but maybe we're not focusing on, is our team large enough? Do we need to look at our contact spheres, or do we need to do better with inviting?
Yes, no, excellent points. And I think as you look at the goal guide, it gives you some actions you can take that will lead to those outcomes. And that's just what we know works in BNI, from over the years. So
yeah, I mean, every chapter is a little bit different, and they all have different needs that are more pressing than others. And so whether you need to grow your chapter or you need more referrals or more revenue, focus on what is the one thing that would really change the chapter if you could fix it. And that's your starting point.
Somebody chimed in the chat and said that both links go to the same place. Can that be true?
It's not supposed to, but all right. You know what? At least
if I upload the actual documents into the chat, can they open that?
You can't upload them into the chat.
I just did.
Did you?
Yeah.
It works now. Ah.
Somebody said they wanted to say, so one's a Word document, one's a PDF. I just uploaded the actual documents. So see if that will work. Somebody asked.
Okay, that's good news. This is new, by the way. We weren't able to do this last week because it's a webinar and it would only do it for meetings. So this is good news.
Yes, they've added that feature. I don't know if everybody has the ability to save the chat. Some people asked, if you click on the three little dots beside the smiley face there and click save chat, I will tell you though, that the documents do not save. So when you save the chat, the document.
Okay, so it'll only say that it was uploaded. So you'll have to physically download it.
So Lynn says there's no three dots. So that must only be available because it's a webinar. That's only available to the panelists then. So sorry guys, you're not able to see the chat.
Okay.
Well, let's answer our questions really quick so that we make sure we have time to get through them.
Okay, first question. Is there a goal board sample for the BNI group?
That's a great question. We used to have them in the old branding and they were available on the BNI promos website. What I would suggest to you, and I know this is being recorded, but is if there's a printer in your chapter, create a board built around the success drivers. What is our goal for, number of members, closed business, visitors, that kind of thing. You can come up with something. There are many options out there that you'll see. I bet if you Googled it, honestly, you would probably find some great examples that our brilliant members around the country have created.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, get creative with it and specific to your chapter. Okay, next question. Oh, it's from our friend Q. He says one of his favorite new nuggets when it comes to goals, especially for people who are ADHD, is adding a column with your goals where you add, why is this goal important? So it gives more meaning and makes you think about why this is a goal and adds importance.
Love that. Yeah. So what is your favorite addition to add to your goals to create relevancy, importance, or priority? What a great question.
Yeah.
So feel free to share the answer to that, you guys, if you have some thoughts on that in the chat. What is your favorite addition to add to your goals? Go ahead with the next question.
Should we share goals with our secretary if she is our only employee?
I'm going to say yes to this, and here's why. You guys have probably heard these statistics about how many employees are disengaged. And most of the time, the reason they're disengaged is because they don't understand how what they do in the company is relevant to what the company's trying to accomplish. They don't have a clear sense of purpose. And so I think that if you're reluctant to share a financial goal because you feel like that's TMI, you can still share the vision and share some of the other things that you would want to accomplish and share with them why their role and their position as an employee in the company matters and is going to help you achieve that goal or that vision.
Yeah, I think that's a great way of getting employees really invested even more in their job, to say, all right, I want to be part of this. And in my own way, I know what I can do to help achieve that vision.
Yes, no, love that. It's so important when it comes to employee engagement, no question.
So Susie overheard you saying something about what's going on in Virginia. You mentioned a goal setting meeting in Virginia for new chapters. Can anyone join, or does it have to be new chapters only?
Great question, Susie. Anyone can join. All of the Virginia core goal setting sessions are on the regional event calendar. There's 3 options. I did like one morning, one lunch, one afternoon, or whatever. So I would encourage you, though, the best way to do goal setting, you guys, and this is for everybody, is to get a small group together, either at least your president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and if you're able to add a member or 2 or all of your membership committee members, so that you're collaborating, creating goals together, you're moving together as a united front, as a leadership team toward your goal achievement. So.
All right. And oh, hey, Maxine, she says, how do we find BNI Mastermind Groups to join?
That is a great question. I was actually in a mastermind group through the National Association of Women Business Owners because that was one of their value added features. If you want a mastermind group in BNI, my suggestion would be perhaps to spearhead one. One of the things that I thought was really cool that we did at the Global Convention this year, and I hope it's going to become a trend, is we had collaborative mastermind groups within industry to talk about tips and tricks and trends and things that were going on in their industry with competitive but non-direct competitive businesses. And so, Maxine, I think you could do a couple of things. You could either reach out to some folks you know here in Charlotte that might be interested in elevating their game and joining you with a mastermind group. I will tell you, though, the key to success in mastermind groups, too, is accountability, you guys. A commitment to attending regularly, to participating, to having discussions that are relevant, because I don't know about you guys, but nobody needs another meeting, most of the people I know. So if we're going to make it valuable, have an agenda, have a time frame, come in, have conversations, and get it done. So it's not a great answer, but
well, you know what? I think, though, that you're touching on something that's really important. For me, the best mastermind group I ever had in BNI was my own contact sphere, right? People in related businesses who I could talk to about, regular day-to-day issues, but also talk about what's ahead for, I was in the marketing sphere, so talk about marketing and things like that, and keeping ourselves accountable to the chapter to say, all right, if our goal is to make X amount of dollars, we need a few people to round out this contact sphere. And we would talk about who we would invite and who we would bring in. And those new faces were like always new energy into the group. So I think that's a good place to start.
And Steve, I know there was one question that was in the chat from Terry that didn't make it into the Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
So Terry, I don't know, I'm trying to scroll through and see if I can find it, because it was a good question. It was related to, you know, depending on where I am in my business, if I'm just starting out, right?
Mm-hmm.
My goals are likely different, because right now I'm probably doing a lot of the activities in my business as I'm getting things going. As I onboard additional people, whether they be employees, or one of the things I love about BNI, you guys, so from the standpoint of Dr. Meisner's information, support, and referrals from your network, one of the ways you get support is outsourcing functions that are in your wax and not your flame. So I don't know about you guys, but I probably would outsource my social media or my IT or my bookkeeping or cleaning my office. I can do all of those things, but I'm not nearly as efficient as an expert. And I have other activities of higher value within the business that as the business leader, I need to focus on. So Terry, it's a great question. Depending on where you are in your business, you may start smaller with your goals. If it's year one, I might just need 3 new clients. Or if I'm building a downline in a direct selling company, maybe I want to add 3 or 4 new people, 5 or 6 new people to my team. And those goals look different than they do as your business matures and there are more people involved, because then you want to involve them too in the conversation and in the vision setting.
By the way, Ashley just mentioned that we have a new online book club starting January 26th. And this is, we'll be doing this. It's Jenny Butts, myself, and you, Gina. You're kind of, you used to do the book club corner review every week. Every month in the Connection newsletter. And it's something that we just really wanted to expand out. And so we're really excited about doing this, and choosing Atomic Habits is the perfect way, I think, to kick off the year and get our goals in order.
Love it.
So
yep.
You can find us on Facebook. Just look for Business Book Club, and you can join that group, and we'd love to have you.
Indeed. Oh, there we go.
All right.
Jenny
And
Butts, popping it in the
Jenny
chat.
throwing it in there. Thank you, Jenny.
Proving again that we are indeed better together.
Indeed. The 3 of us talking about this book should be quite a talk. I'm sure it's going to be great.
All right. I did not see any other questions in the Q&A. So if somebody posted one in the chat that we missed, please let us know before we're getting a little closer to the top of the hour. So we want to try to wrap up pretty quick, I think.
So I'm just going to put up this quote that you put there. It's not the goal that will make you successful. It's what you do daily.
Speaking of Atomic Habits.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good one. All right. So I think we're good on questions. So that brings us to the end. Congratulations. It's time for confetti. You have just earned yourself 1 CEU. And please get in touch with Gina or myself if you have any questions about anything we covered today. We are here to help. If you needed any of those documents, just shoot me an email and I'll send that out to you right now. All right. Thanks so much, Gina. Any final words before we sign off?
Go forth and conquer.